Like what you're doing now amazes like so many people. Like I want you to know, like when people think about building something from the ground up, they're thinking that it's going to take like years and years. They're thinking like they're so far away from it mentally. Like how do we simplify it for them to kind of understand?
I mean, there's no mistake about it. Home building is it's a beast. I tell people it's like holding on to the tail end of a lion and going in circles and hoping you don't get bit. You're just trying to hold on. But with experience, I would say get a mentor. If we're going to drill it down to the easiest way to get into it. I mean, I'm the type of person where I just jump into things and, I know in my mindset, I'm gonna make it happen. For a person who may be a little more nervous to jump in the deep end, I would highly recommend getting a mentor. Minus the mentor, it takes I did a lot of research. The flipping helped, but but flipping houses, doesn't make up for the experience that a lot of people have when they start building houses, whether they were working for somebody else or their family did it or their friend did it or whatever. Like, it's one of them things where if you can have a mentor, because even research, isn't going to prepare you for, to be able to do it. So for nobody that's never done it before and they can't, wrap their head around it, I would say get a mentor. Do a lot of like hundreds and hours of research. I would say figure out your financial plan. Figure out and even before you do all that, you want to get a good base of subs. I mean, because good subs or bad subs can just kill you,
make or break you. Okay.
That's one of the main things, even to me, even more important than financials to me, because financials to me is, these days are so easy to come by, but good
right.
Good subs, you got to have your credit good, your debt to income. I mean, it's not like they're just going to throw money at anybody. I mean, you got to have yourself squared away. But once that part, before you even get into home building or flipping or any, you should already have that squared away. So, that kind of goes without saying. But good subs is what I would tell people, electrician, and go off of referrals. Even now it's so easy, to me, I think, to find subs because of all the apps they got now, where you can go up Thumbtack, Home Advisor, stuff like that, where you can actually, you don't have to go through the yellow pages to find subs,
Right.
But I would tell people to, go off referrals, get good subs. You need to get a good concrete contractor. You need to get a good framer. You got to know the market. You got to know what it costs to frame a house, what it costs for concrete so you don't get beat. So once you got good subs, you put a budget together. You talk to supply houses, lumber houses. You have them send you a takeoff, which is basically, your material list, or a takeoff. We call it a takeoff. So that way, you can add it all up. You'll figure out what your windows, doors, shingles, you'll know what all that stuff costs, what your drywall is going to cost. You put all that together, on a spreadsheet, and, you do your analysis, so, I mean, so like flipping, it kind of helped me to put me in the right direction. But just going out there and doing it, and doing trial by fire, was able to get me the experience quickly to where I wouldn't have been able to get it just by doing research. And a mentor for home building, especially for us as African Americans, it's pretty much non-existent.
Right. Like I'm currently looking to get into like developing, but I'm like one of the scared ones. But I've been watching you do it. I've been like taking bits and nuggets that, when you're posting or like wherever talking, I'm like, okay, this, like having good partnerships, like what you're saying, like I know that's huge key, even for flipping, having good partnerships with subs. But I'm gonna like kind of break down my basic knowledge of it, and you tell me if I'm on the right path, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so basically, from my understanding, from what I've learned from you so far as you've been going through your journey, you know, with finding the right land and the right location, I know is huge key, you know, and then also on top of that, testing the soil, and then also and making sure that you know you can build, and then also you said something about like subs and partnerships, but also like zoning, making sure you're in the right location for whatever it is that you're trying to build, and
Right.
then like the first layer of like foundation, framing, plumbing, electrician, roofing, siding, and then drywall. Would you say
Right.
like all different subcontractors? And then you go into like the nitty gritty of like obviously cabinets, floorings, painting,
Right.
and like spackling. But would you say I missed like anything there from that general rundown?
That's pretty much the wave tops of everything.
Awesome. Because I try to like not use too much of your time with stuff, but I do like text you and ask you some stuff sometimes, and you'll answer when you can. But I feel like I'm slowly like low key like using you as a mentor, because eventually I want to get where you are, man. Like I see you developing like 3-4 houses a year, and then on top of that have a whole other job, like taking care of your kids. Like I think you might have like 3 side hustles, you know, like where do you find the time and the energy and like the hustle? That's one of my main questions.
I mean, that particularly, I think is, I think that's something you're born with.
Ooh.
Um, Ambition is something that, you know, you can grasp, I guess. And it's definitely something I guess you could work on. But you just got to want it. You know, it's one of those things like that little, you know, that corny saying, the eye of the tiger, you gotta want it, you know. And me, I mean, you know, to keep it simple, I like money. So, I mean, we're gonna just keep it simple. I like money. So,
Right.
and I'm gonna work. You know, I don't. You know, I'm a type of person where I don't do handouts. So, and I know if I want something, I'm gonna have to work for it. You know, wasn't born rich, so you know. And the other thing, you know, I like to make money, but I think, you know, we like to throw around that word generational wealth. Um, you know, but there's a lot of us that is actually going out there to do what we got to do to actually, you know, get that generational wealth. So like for me, I go out and I hustle and I do what I got to do legally to make money. But I have 3 kids. So one of my main motivations is my children, to where, you know, I want to be able to, because we've talked on this chat, you know, we don't have those mentors.
Right.
So it's each one teach one. So if I look at it as, for my main motivation is for my children when they grow up, you know, if they want to go work a job, or if they want to work for their pop, you know, and I mean, that wouldn't be forever, you know, that I'm starting my company is my baby, you know. I have more than one company, but Premier Home, that's my baby, you know, like that's like my son or my daughter, you know what I mean? So, and with that being said, you know, it's something I hold coveted because, you know, I'm a licensed home builder, and in Virginia, it's a pretty difficult thing to do, to get the license. So, I hustle so that when my kids get older, you know, they'll be able to, if they want to be a home builder, or if they want to invest, or if they want to, you know, I do it. So, because my children, you know, our children, we may not notice that they're looking at us, but they're looking at us, you know. And when my kids get older, I want them to hustle because, you know, I want them to be able to take care of their kids.
Right.
You know, I want my kids to be able to, when they grow up, they'll have options. You know, that's one of the main motivators for me, is that when my kids grow up, they'll be able to, you know, if they want to join the military, or if they want to work a 9 to 5, or if, you know, they want to, you know, learn how to do trim, they can learn how to do it. Because I mean, you know, a house is your biggest investment, you know. So if you know how to, you know, run wire, or plumb a house, or frame up a house, or pour concrete, I mean, that's a lot of stuff, you know. Even if they don't want to do it, You know, if they're around it so much,
Right.
they'll be able to, when they grow up, even if they say, I don't even want nothing to do with home building or anything to do with construction, they'll be able to at least know
the trade.
exactly.
Right.
You
And
know?
I love everything you're saying, because what I've realized in our industry is that the electricians, the plumbers, like these craftsmen, that is a part of generational wealth, of just that knowledge and of just them being able to pass down those licenses to, you know, that next generation. Because in school, we're not getting told to, you know, follow these trades and these skills, but those guys are millionaires. You know what I mean? Like millionaires, like they get paid those commercial contracts. No joke. And there's a gap between like us, our, you know, people of color being involved in that, you know? So I love everything you're saying. And I just came on here to tell you that I admire you. I admire what you're doing. I see your hustle, and like, yo, keep going. Like everything that like I'm doing is almost a reflection of like men like you that are doing it, that I'm like, oh, he's doing it, I can too. You know, so I just wanted to come on here and expose like the way that you think and just have this conversation so other people could enjoy it. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm going to stop the recording, but thank you so much for coming. And if anybody wants to follow Dwayne, I'm going to put his social media down below. Make sure you like, follow. And if you have any questions, we'll try our best to answer them in the comments. All right, Dwayne, I'll see you later.
Later.